take in CO2 at night, store it as an acid, and wait for the daytime. And then in the daytime, they close those stomata, because these are in really dry areas. And they do not have the luxury of all that water that they can constantly move through the plant. So close those stomata, and then they are capable of proceeding with photosynthesis when the light is available. And succulents like jade, pineapple is one, and then a lot of our desert plants, and orchids, are cam plants. Neat, huh? And that's just a summary showing you C3 photosynthesis. Carbon is only fixed one time. First intermediate is 3 carbons. C4 photosynthesis, carbon is fixed twice. Once with in oxaloacetate, and that provides then the CO2s for the Calvin cycle to run. And then for cam plants or cam photosynthesis, the CO2 is brought into the plant at night, stored as an acid, and that then is released during the day to run the Calvin cycle. It's oh so neat. Again, I hope I answered some of your questions through the PowerPoint. And then here are a few more. Natural light versus artificial light. The quality as far as photosynthesis should be based on wavelength. There are a lot of experiments that show which colors of light promote or yield the most photosynthesis. Someone asked what rubisco is, because it was mentioned in one or more of the other materials, and it's the enzyme that is involved in carbon fixation in the Calvin cycle. Is photosynthesis year-round? And the answer is, it depends. In some places, yes. We have some deciduous trees, even though we're in the boreal or evergreen or coniferous forest biome. And if you look over more to the eastern part of the United States, what happens is, as it gets cold and the days get shorter, the trees lose their leaves. They drop their leaves. We have some deciduous trees here, so you see that happening. Hey, when that happens through the winter, they are not actively performing photosynthesis. But that's okay, because the sugars that they made, some of them for structures, some of them for their own ATP needs at the time, and they stored some for the time when to keep their metabolism going when they're not actively going through the process of photosynthesis. In some places it has to do with dry and wet seasons, so that the leaves are dropped during the dry seasons and the plants stop photosynthesis and rely on their stores. I've already talked about bacteria. Oh, and cacti, for example, don't have leaves. Well, they do. Their leaves are those thorns. Their thorns are their modified leaves. That is not where photosynthesis happens. It happens along their stems. Photosynthetic eukaryotes, that would be the protists and the plants, also use cellular respiration. That's what my CR stands for. What percent of protists are photoautotrophs? I already addressed that. And someone asked about adaptations of aquatic plants, and I have a link here that you can check out that will explain it better than I can. Okay, that should be the end of this PowerPoint. I have one on DNA for you and then a little bit of board work.